So, the Seattle Storm are off and running in the 2011 WNBA postseason. What's up, everybody? The Storm took down the Phoenix Mercury in Game 1 in the Western Conference first round, or semifinals, whichever you would like to call it, by a score of 80-61. Pretty nice win. Unfortunately, I did miss the game. I wanted to watch it, but had other things going on. But looking at the box score and hearing the report on King 5 News here in Seattle, something just clicked. Even Sue Bird, who was quoted on King 5 News, said she was actually kind of surprised how well the Storm played and how everything just clicked. Because as we recap the game, the Storm and Mercury were tied at 19 apiece in after the first quarter, and then the Seattle outscores Phoenix 21-12 in the second and 29-11 in the third. By that time, Seattle eventually pulled their starters, and Phoenix was able to outscore Seattle by 8 points, 19-11 in the fourth quarter. But overall, a very dominant win by Seattle. Looking at some stats, leading the Phoenix Mercury in points was Penny Taylor with 13, and for rebounding we have, get the name right here, Dewana Bonner. She had 8 rebounds to lead the Mercury. What was actually kind of surprising is Diana Taurasi, who I said would have a big series, she only had 11. Now granted, that's good for the Mercury because they needed as many players to get in double digits as possible, and they only finished with 3 players in double digits in points. But kind of surprised Diana Taurasi did not go off. I'm kind of expecting her to go off in Game 2. She got the majority of her points on the free throw line at 4-4 and had a terrible day from the field, only making 3 of 11 field goals. For the Storm, they were led by, out of all people, Tanisha Wright. That's something I was not expecting at all. I was actually expecting Swim Cash to lead all scores. Swim Cash had 10. Tanisha Wright went off, had 21. And then Camille Little had 17 points as well. They both outscored Lauren Jackson, who had 13. And Swim Cash, as I said, had 10. Sue Bird had 8, but she didn't play the majority of the fourth quarter because they were up by so much. The leading rebounder, there was a two-way tie between Swim Cash and Camille Little with 11. So, overall, very, very happy with that outcome. As I mentioned before in my previous video, you really don't have that much leeway in a best-of-3 series, and it's nice to know that we still have home court advantage going into Game 2, because Phoenix could win Game 2, and then we would go back to Seattle for Game 3. So that's nice to know. So when is Game 2? Game 2 is on Saturday, which is tomorrow, Saturday, September 17th. The tip-off will be at 7 p.m. Pacific time. I believe it's going to be on NBA TV, and that's who's broadcasting it. And let's hope that the Seattle Storm can close it out, because there's nothing more nerve-wracking than a decisive Game 3 in the WNBA playoffs, which the Seattle Storm, believe it or not, are not very successful. Historically, they are not very successful in Game 3s. So that being said, I expect the Mercury to come out. They have a great crowd down there, and do what they did last year and just give Seattle everything they can handle. And hopefully we don't need a play like Sue Bird's game-winning three-pointer to clinch the series. Hopefully it can be a little easier than that, but I'm expecting the Mercury to come out tomorrow and just give the Storm everything they can handle. So Seattle is up 1-0 in the best of 3 series. Game 2 is tomorrow, September 17th. Tip off at 7 p.m. That's specific time. Go Storm, and let's get this thing done. We need all the rest that we can get in the postseason. So let's just win this game. Not have to worry about traveling back to Seattle and hosting a decisive Game 3. Let's just get this done and focus on the Western Conference Finals. So go Storm, knock out the Mercury, and thank you very much for watching.